Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I smell it. It's getting closer and closer to crypto arena.
You guys are like that that ex where I'm like, look, I broke up with you 5 times. It's not happening. It's over. Stop texting my phone.
You know, you say it's over. Yet, let me ask. I'll start it this
aggressive.
way. I'll start it like this. Yeah, that was, right? That's like a little experience going on there. Do we all accept the idea that Brian Windhorst is one of our best NBA insiders that we have here?
We do.
Okay, so when he speaks,
we listen.
We listen. So on the Hoop Collective podcast, he was talking about, I don't know, Jay, like you were making fun of Key and I yesterday and our crazy scenarios and crazy ideas. Well, how about what Wendy had to say about something that the Nets and Lakers could work out?
Westbrook for Kyrie trade, the Lakers would save $11 million. That costs something. So Westbrook and 2 unprotected or 2 lightly protected first-round picks for Kyrie. Okay. I know people are telling me you're crazy. Why are you talking about this? It would bail out the Lakers for this season and potentially next, and could potentially influence LeBron James' thinking when it comes to extending his contract in August.
And Key, we all know influencing LeBron's decision to make sure that he's happy in Lakerland is what Jeannie Buss said, top priority.
Yeah, it is. But, Jay.
Key?
Hey, Winnie said it right there. So what do you think, Jay?
Why would you do this to me the same way you did it to me in the pre-show meeting? I don't understand. What are you giving me in return? All this is about the Lakers, but if I am Brooklyn, what are you giving me in return?
Wendy just said we're gonna give you Westbrook and some first round picks.
But wait a minute.
Why would the Nets do that?
All right. Jay, what's in it for the Nets? I'm glad you asked, because remember, Wendy did also talk about that yesterday on NBA Today.
The message the Brooklyn Nets are sending is that they are willing to risk losing Kevin Durant if it means going through what they went through last year with Kyrie Irving. They just cannot have him back under the same terms that they had last year.
Okay. And?
I mean,
what?
Guys,
come on, Jay.
What were the terms last year? The terms last year that where he didn't want to get vaccinated, and that there were other players in the NBA who didn't want to get vaccinated.
Okay.
But the local mandate here in New York City required, but players could travel and come play in the arena who weren't vaccinated. So I get it, the communication aspect. I'm not denying that or understating that at all. That is something that they need to work through. But like this whole narrative that floats out there that Kyrie doesn't like to work or that Kyrie doesn't like to show up, like let's not act like the last 2.5, 3 years weren't because of things that were happening during the Black Lives Matter movement or things that weren't happening as relates to, the pandemic. Like I don't, so what, he signs in now, but that's still not good enough, even though he opts in because he doesn't want to sign a long-term deal. Well, he didn't get the years he wanted. I don't understand. Why does this have to be pushed into another narrative?
But look, Jay.
Key, can you explain what happens when a player is told, go ahead and seek another offer. We'll sign and trade if you can find one. Go ahead and look for that. What happens?
I hear what you're saying, Jay. I'm with you 100% on the narrative side of things when it comes to Kyrie and people putting it out there that making it sound as though the reason that he missed last season or a big portion of last season was not because of the pandemic and the vaccination. They're making it seem like it's something totally different. I get that part of it. But when a team comes to a player and they come to a mutual agreement to seek trade compensation and permission and things of that nature, that's because they want you to find something. It's not that they're hoping you don't find anything, because once they open up that box, the feelings start to flow out and they tell you truly, really how they feel about you. Maybe not as a player, so to speak, but just as an individual. And look, did he cause some disruption to the team last year because of the non-vaccination? Yes. But that's his own prerogative on what he wants somebody to do with him from a medical standpoint. But it did cause disruption. Is he in? Is he out? Is he in? Is he out? Can he travel? Can he not travel? Can he practice? Can he not practice? So that did cause some disruption. So I wouldn't necessarily say Wendy is completely wrong in this one.
I just,
All right.
Yeah, I hear you, Keith. But yesterday when I came on the show, that's the first thing I said. I said that Kyrie Irving had no leverage. And that's what the Nets did. They called his bluff. Okay, you think there are teams that will give this to you? I know what I would need in return. And what I would say to you, Alan, is the Westbrook and the conversation, that doesn't get me closer to my goal of winning a championship. There's nothing that the Lakers could give me that will help me get to where my goal is with Kevin Durant, or help me reboot for where I wanted to be if I did want to go through the process of rebuilding. But why the hell would I want to go through a rebuild when I'm right there at the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference to win a world championship?
I can answer
because,
that. I can answer
because
it,
one
Keith.
of your major pieces, Jay, is Kyrie Irving and you winning that championship. And if Kyrie Irving is going to leave, it's not going to keep Kevin Durant happy. I'm assuming Kevin Durant is going to want to leave then. So now you got nothing that you had before, so you now have to rebuild.
And Key, once again, as I mentioned earlier, and Jay, you got to see it the way, I guess, from me, aerial view, I see a player who might not be, like, he's here, but he's not really here. Because we all said his best option is to take the option, right? His best option was take the option.
He's here, but he's
But
not
really
here.
Well, you know what, though?
What does that mean?
Kind of, well, it explains what it was last year, which is you're not really here. You're
Don't
here,
do that,
but you're not really here.
Hon.
Focus on this year.
And now this
don't
coming
do
year,
that.
it's the same thing. You're here, but you're
It's
not really here
the same
mentally.
thing, Alan.
It is absolutely the same thing because that was your best option.
Because his call
Because
got
he
bluffed
thought
and
about
he got,
going somewhere else.
So
That's why.
what?
And I got you for 1 year. I don't
But
even
we
know what
don't
I got
even
after
know,
this year.
but
I don't
look,
know if you're
but
all
look,
in or not.
but look.
Kawhi left to go to a different team after he won a championship. He thought about going somewhere else,
But look,
and he won a
man,
championship. So if you win it,
It's not the same thing.
I'm not.
It's not
Well,
even
it's
close
never
to
the same thing. It's apples and oranges. But I'm saying though, like, if they win a championship this year, even if he does decide to go somewhere else or it doesn't work
he's
out,
happy. You're telling me that he's happy with only getting a 1 year commitment, which is not even a commitment because it's just picking up his option. So he's thrilled with where he is right now. He's all in. Did he ever
Jay.
mention the Nets in any of his
Look,
statements?
Jay,
Did he ever mention
Jay,
Kevin
go
Durant
ahead,
in any
go
of his
ahead.
statements?
Go ahead, Keith.
you guys.
I'm about to get in- I'm about to get
he's
in
cutting me
hot
off.
sports this
You're
morning.
cutting me off
It's
now?
6:08. I'm about to get in
So
hot.
go,
Sports Talk
baby.
Radio guys. Look, Jay, one quick one for you. Do you believe that Kyrie is going to be a Net this season and play this season as a New Jersey, Brooklyn
As a
Net
Brooklyn
from the
Net.
beginning to the end?
Yes, that's why I said I thought there was zero chance that Kyrie Irving leave the Brooklyn Nets this season.
So you
I'm
don't
not
think
sure about what happens after this season, frankly.
So what Wendy is saying
Case closed.
about the
is
window
it case closed?
possibly
No.
still being open, you don't think it's still a possibility that the window could be open?
No, I don't see Kyrie Irving going to a different team today. I don't.
Today.
I don't see him going to the Lakers. No, I don't. I see him playing this season with the Brooklyn Nets. And to go back to your point, Alan, a lot of people aren't thrilled about what they make. This dude is making $36 million. Would he like to make more for a longer period with the Nets? I'm sure he would have liked that. But that doesn't mean that he can't win a championship this year because he's disappointed he didn't get a 4-year deal. It doesn't mean that he's going to be checked out and that he's not going to give it his all for his brother and Kevin Durant to try to win a chip because he didn't get a 4-year deal.
Love it. Let's see where it goes from here. Jay had the last word. It's Keyshawn, J. Will, Max. Alan Hunt in for Max, presented by Progressive Insurance. All right, well, if you think Kyrie Irving is a little detached from reality, we have another pro athlete that is right in line with him when it comes to reality of his situation. We'll discuss that and more next. KJM, ESPN Radio, and ESPN2.
Really get me going this morning.
Let's go.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.